This is the Stealth Hispanic, with a week in what is crazy in the news.
Recently, Marvel has had a huge issue when it comes to making decent content, and I'm currently confused as to why that's currently happening. The best answer that I can give anyone is the fact that Marvel seems to have simply forgotten what it means to make a decent comic book. A lot of their overall hiring doesn't seem to be from overall experience, from pros, or from the idea of making a decent comic book, but rather they seem to just keep hiring people because of their race, gender, or sexual orientation. This is never a bad thing. You know, you can be a great comic book writer and gay, but first you have to be a great comic book writer. Everything else is something you are born with. So let's talk about your most recent hires. Gabby Rivers, also known as Gabby Rivera, is the current writer for America. Now, those of you who remember America would know that she was a part of the Young Avengers way back when. She also was a part of several other things, and that she comes from not only a parallel universe, but a wholly different planet. Thus, when America came back and was now very, very extra Hispanic, and suddenly a huge bitch to everyone around her, it made no sense to me in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I became increasingly upset as a Hispanic to watch someone who's supposed to be my race act like such an absolute and total asshole. Granted, yes, there are some very strong Hispanic women that I've known. My mother being one, my aunts, my cousins. Yes, I know a lot of very strong Hispanic women, but they at least treat everyone with respect, and they do not act like that. More importantly than that, they wouldn't just walk around hitting people just because they could. And love of God, why would you do this? As a Hispanic, I was incredibly upset by this comic book. I only got 2 issues in before I gave up on it. Alright, and in 2 issues, all it did was it made me incredibly upset that this was going on, 1, and 2, it felt like terrible writing. There was no actual action in the action scenes. There'd be like one punch and then you were done, and then it would move on to more silly talking, and I'm going, where's the action? Where's the payoff? There's no fighting in this, and it's getting increasingly upsetting that there's no fighting in this. The dialogue was awful from both any of the actual other characters and from America Chavez herself. She actually says, you know, pray to Selena, the singer Selena. You do know that most Hispanics are Catholic, so we would probably say, you know, pray to Mother Mary or something along those lines, but the fact you chose Selena just makes me incredibly upset, Miss Rivers. Anyway, I'm not supposed to talk about this. I'm supposed to talk about your new hire. So, those of you who are in the know that Eve Ewing, who was given a Change.org petition so that she could possibly write the new Riri Williams series, because the last Riri Williams series was so good. Oh, so good. It wasn't. That's absolute sarcasm. It was kind of terrible. But they brought her in to go in and write for it. And the reasoning behind it is because she's black and they have the same haircut. Does anyone else see an issue with that? Now, don't get me wrong. When I heard that this person was possibly being hired or would be hired by Marvel, I immediately started doing my due diligence. I began looking up any and all work that she could have possibly have had that would have been related to comic books. And the best I could come up with was a book called Electric Arches, which whenever I try to find a review for, all I get is a review of who Eve Ewing is as a person. It keeps telling me about how great it is to have this black woman professor who has made this book, and I'm just sitting there going like, but what is the book about? What? Someone please tell me what this book is about. And apparently it's a series of short stories. I'm like, that's cool. Is it a comic? Is it not a comic? Because no one is answering these overall questions. And when I tried looking at the free sample, all you can get is the front cover. I have friends in the comic world. I have friends who have been working on their own comics and who have been putting in the work to become a part of DC, of Vertigo, of Marvel, of any large name comic book entity that they could possibly join. But to have some random person who has never made a comic book in their entire life, like Gabby Rivera, just suddenly show up and be in there, I'm so angry about this. All right, I'm not. I don't know who's making these decisions for you. I have no clue why you think this is a good decision. But frankly, Marvel, you gotta stop, please. If you haven't noticed by your lack of sales, if you haven't noticed by the fact that even Dan Slott has just said that he's tired of all of his readers, if you haven't watched Michael Bendis leave you, maybe it's time for you to just stop. Maybe it's time for you to look inwards. Maybe it's time for you to realize that what matters isn't someone's skin color or their gender or who they sleep with in bed. I don't really care about any of those things. What I care about is a good story. And what you're giving me thus far is that what you care about is what someone looks like. And frankly, that shit's racist. This is the Stealth Hispanic saying adios.